The settings menu on your Cuda Reflex site is quick and easy to use with SecureTaps. I'm going to show you how. Before we jump into the settings menu, let's first review SecureTaps. Buttons on Reflex sites are notoriously prone to failure and are intrusion points for water and dirt. So instead of buttons, your Cuda site features tap controls. But unlike typical tap-controlled devices that can't tell the difference between accidental and intentional taps, all taps to your Cuda site must pass a security check. Most tap-controlled devices just detect change in motion, but your Cuda site can also detect change in light. When we combine these actions, they form a unique event, a secure tap. Here's what a secure tap looks like. When I tap the light sensor on the front of the site, I generated motion with the tap and I changed the amount of light detected by the sensor. So now, if we string together 3 secure taps, we create an extremely rare event and produce a one-of-a-kind key to unlock the settings menu. With Cuda SecureTaps, you get the benefit of simple, buttonless tap controls, plus the peace of mind that you'll never accidentally enter the settings menu and modify your settings. The Cuda settings menu is used to perform actions such as checking the level of your battery or even modifying the intensity of your reticle. SecureTaps are used to enter and exit the settings menu, while simple gestures such as tap, hold, and release, and tilt and tap are used to select and modify options. With just a few taps and tilts, you'll be able to modify your Cuda site just the way you like it. Now, to enter the settings menu, you'll need to perform 3 secure taps. Grab your firearm with a firm grip so you keep it steady while using the settings menu. I like to place my thumb behind my sight when I perform secure taps. It helps me reduce motion. But whatever you like to do, keep that grip firm and support your sight so you're not moving it around as you tap. Now with your index finger, tap the front of the sight 3 times. The chime confirms you have just entered the settings menu. Let's see that again. Here's a helpful tip. Be sure your finger lays across the front of the sight so you're completely covering the light sensor with each secure tap. Because remember, your Cuda site detects change in motion and change in light to properly register secure taps. Also, some optics-ready pistols have a deeper cut in the slide, so your light sensor may be a little more challenging to cover with your finger without smudging your lens. If this is true of your firearm, you can still perform secure taps with this alternate method. Just grab your firearm firmly and use little karate chops with the end of your finger right at the sensor. It works just as well. Now that we know how to access the settings menu, let's explore our options. The Cuda settings menu contains 4 selectable options: battery level check and on-demand diagnostics, intensity offset, enhanced shutoff, and audio. Let's check your battery. To check the level of your battery, enter the settings menu with 3 secure taps. Next, you're going to tap and hold your finger on the light sensor until you hear 1 beep. When you hear the cue, release your finger. Your battery level is reported by a series of beeps, followed by an exit chime to confirm that the battery level check is complete. Along with the battery check, diagnostic tests were also performed on the motion sensor, LED, and light sensor. So if there happened to be a problem with my sight, it would have grabbed my attention by rapidly beeping and flashing the reticle. Let's see that again from start to finish. My sight beeped 5 times, which tells me my battery level is between 80 and 100%. If you prefer a reticle that is brighter or dimmer than the one chosen for you by IntelliDot, you can specify an intensity offset for IntelliDot to use when it calculates your reticle's intensity. To specify your intensity offset, enter the settings menu with 3 SecureTaps. Next, you're going to tap and hold your finger on the light sensor until you hear 2 consecutive beeps. When you hear the cue, release your finger. To decrease your intensity offset, or to make your reticle dimmer, tilt your sight left and then tap on either side. To increase your intensity offset, or to make your reticle brighter, tilt your sight right and then tap on either side. Depending on the direction of your tilt, each tap will increase or decrease your reticle's intensity. If you've reached the minimum or maximum intensity offset, you'll hear 3 short beeps. To save your setting, perform 1 SecureTap. A chime will sound to confirm you have exited the settings menu and that your preferred setting was saved. Let's see that again from start to finish. Your Cuda sight knows when it's being used and when it's not, so it knows exactly when to power down automatically. We call this feature enhanced shutoff. So if you've placed your sight in your safe, or even if you have it holstered at your side, with enhanced shutoff enabled, your Cuda sight will turn off in just a matter of seconds, and it will remain off until you pick it up to use it again. Enhanced shutoff can be disabled, though we recommend keeping it enabled for 2 very important reasons. First, enhanced shutoff greatly increases your battery life, because though your Cuda sight features a high efficiency LED, which uses less power than a standard LED, turning it off when it's not in use will extend your battery life even further. Secondly, because the automatic battery check and diagnostics are performed at shutdown, with enhanced shutoff enabled, in the event there's ever a problem with your sight, you'll be notified almost immediately after setting down your firearm. To modify your enhanced shutoff setting, enter the settings menu with 3 SecureTaps. Next, you're going to tap and hold your finger on the light sensor until you hear 3 consecutive beeps. When you hear the cue, release your finger. To disable enhanced shutoff, tilt your sight left and then tap once on either side. To enable enhanced shutoff, tilt your sight right and then tap once on either side. To save your setting, perform 1 SecureTap. A chime will sound to confirm you have exited the settings menu and that your preferred setting was saved. Let's see that again from start to finish. Your Cuda sight features a micro speaker for low battery alerts, diagnostic test results, and to provide audible confirmation when using the settings menu. Audio is enabled by default, but can be disabled. Alerts, test results, and confirmations are also communicated through reticle flashes. So if audio is disabled, visual feedback is still available. To modify your audio setting, enter the settings menu with 3 SecureTaps. Next, You're going to tap and hold your finger on the light sensor until you hear 4 consecutive beeps. When you hear the cue, release your finger. To disable audio, tilt your sight left and then tap once on either side. To enable audio, tilt your sight right and then tap once on either side. To save your setting, perform one secure tap. If audio is enabled, a chime will sound to confirm you have exited the settings menu and that your preferred setting has been saved. If audio is disabled, reticle flashes will serve as confirmation of save and exit. Let's see that again from start to finish. Cuda's exclusive SecureTaps in the settings menu are just a few of the ways we're taking reflex sights to the next level. For more information, visit CudaOptics.com or contact us today.